What is Lightning Web Components? Lightning Web Components are an updated web standard based framework method for creating Lightning components on the Salesforce platform. Lightning Web Components utilize standard tech like CSS, HTML, and updated JavaScript without requiring a set framework, incorporating the latest innovations in JavaScript, including Shadow Document Object Model (DOM), custom elements, and web components. ECMA Script 7 is especially the JavaScript updated JavaScript language used. Okay, why we need to use LWC? We already have an Aura components. For first one is for faster sites and better performance, we need Lightning Web Component as compared to Aura component. Okay, the Lightweight Web Component is a lightweight framework which is built on web standard, and because there is no added abstraction layer. Okay, in Lightning Web Component, first it is a lightweight and it is built on web stack, and there is no added abstraction layer. LWC is likely rendered faster than Aura components since performance is important to deliverability. What are benefits of LWC? Standardized based architecture can build components for pages faster. Code reuse is supported for Qcl deployments, support unit testing for quality assurance, access to more development talent who can quickly use Lightning Web Component and create desired solutions. What is the difference between Lightning and LWC? Aura-based Lightning components are built using both HTML and JavaScript, but LWC is built directly on with the web stack. A developer who works on LWC is not only using coding skills on a particular framework, but in other frameworks like React and Angular, which are based on the web stack. What are the limitations of LWC? First one limit is quick action API. Second, custom actions. Third, global actions. Fourth, related list view actions, chatter actions. Fifth, Omni Toolkit API. Salesforce Console API don't support Lightning Web Components, and these are the Salesforce Console API navigation item API workspace. API utility bar API, URL addressable tabs, and you cannot use email template in the LWC component. Can Aura component contain LWC? You can compose Aura component from Lightning components, but not the other way around. Okay, you can compose Aura component from Lightning component, but not the other way around. To communicate down the hierarchy, parents set properties on children to decide when and how to nest a Lightning Web Component in an Aura components. It's important to understand facets and slots. Can we communicate between Aura and LWC? Yeah, you can easily do this, but you need to know how the communication channel works between the component types. Once you see how it is easy to communicate between components, it will be much easier to switch Lightning Web Component to do development for everything moving forward. Can we pass data from Aura to LWC? The events in LWC are dispatched using standard DOM events. Standard DOM events are used to communicate up in the component hierarchy, similar to the component event in Lightning component. To communicate between component not in the hierarchy, we use publish subscribe event model is used, but the pub/sub model is used. Okay. Does LWC support two-way binding? LWC is designed with a one-way data binding approach. Initially, this can feel frustrating, especially for people who have come to love the simplicity of two ways. Lightning Web Components allow one-way binding, but Aura components allow two-way binding. Okay. How do I communicate between two components in Salesforce? Creating a lightning message channel with the help of publisher component, then create subscriber component. We can easily communicate two component in lightning web components. What is the life cycle hook of LWC? Lightning Web Components have their own life cycle managed by the Salesforce framework. The framework firstly creates the component and then it's inserted into the DOM. It renders them and removed from the DOM. It also monitors for the property changes. When a LWC is created, first constructor is invoked, then connected callback, then rendered callback, then error callback, then disconnected callback. Okay, so constructor is invoked, which is similar to init method as in Aura components. One change in flow on constructor is from parent to child. This is inserted into DOM. Then it is inserted into DOM. Okay. Connected callback is whenever the component is rendering, and render is used to override the functionality of LWC. Rendered callback is called once the component is rendered and passed to child to parent. Error callback, whenever component throw error, it will catch error object. Disconnected callback, when component is removed from DOM, is disconnect callback used in PubSub model. Can I use multiple decorators on one property in LWC? A property can only have one decorator at a time. You cannot use multiple decorators on one property. Okay. What are callback functions in LWC? Callback functions is a function passed into another function as an argument, which is then invoked inside the outer function to complete some kind of routine or action. What are decorators in LWC? Three types of decorators in LWC, that is @API, @track, and @wire. @API is used to expose or functions publicly and make properties reactive. These are also called public reactive properties. @track is used to make variable private but reactive. Track properties are also called private reactive properties. @wire to read Salesforce data. Lightning Web Component use a reactive wire service. When the wire service provisions data, the component re-renders. Component use @wire in the JavaScript class to specify a wire adapter or an apex method. Okay, @wire simply works to call an apex class into that component. Then it is the work of @wire method. Okay, can we import apex variable from LWC? No, we cannot import apex variable from apex class. How many files are created in LWC while we're creating LWC? Three default files are created. First one .html, .js, and third one is meta.xml. What is the difference between wire and imperative method? Wire is closely associated with the change of A and B, but the imperative is called on click of a button. Okay, can we call the LWC component from Aura component? LWC component function should be declared as public. Starting using @API decorator, we can invoke the LWC component through the Aura component using Aura ID. What is Lightning Locker in LWC? Lightning Locker is a powerful security architecture for Lightning components. Lightning Locker enhances security by isolating Lightning components that belong to one namespace from component in a different namespace. Can we have two wire method in LWC? There are times where we may have multiple wire methods in the same Lightning components. What is promise all in LWC? Promise lets asynchronous methods return values like synchronous methods. Okay, promise lets asynchronous method return values like synchronous methods. Instead of immediately returning the final value, the asynchronous method returns a promise to supply the value at some point in the future. What is lazy loading in LWC? Lazy loading in Salesforce allows you to load the data only when it is required. It wouldn't keep on loading if you don't want it to load. With infinite loading, you can scroll and load a subset of data. Similarly, if you scroll more, you can load more data. How do I refresh Apex in LWC? To refresh Apex data provisioned via an Apex wire call refresh Apex, the function provisions the data using the configuration bound to the wire and update the cache. What are callback functions in LWC? Callback function is a function passed into another function as an argument, which is then invoked inside the outer function to complete some kind of routine or action. What is async and await in LWC? Async functions are instances of the async function constructor and the await keyword is permitted within them. The async and await keywords enable asynchronous promise-based behavior to be written in a cleaner style, avoiding the need to explicitly configure promise chains. What is Lightning elements in LWC? Import Lightning element from LWC. Lightning element is a custom wrapper of the standard HTML element. Extend Lightning elements to create a JavaScript class for creating web component. You can't extend any other class to create a Lightning web component. How do you call a static resource in LWC? To access static resources in Lightning Web Components, first we have to import @Salesforce resource URL to the component's JavaScript file. Import my resource from @Salesforce resource URL name namespace underscore resource reference. My resource a name that refers to the static resource. What can we use debugger in LWC? Debugging an OR can be done by setting breaking points in code. Once with 11 Lightning Web Component in the debug mode, use the source tab in Chrome and look under the Lightning page module C folder to find your component.js file. Add JavaScript file breakpoints to step through the code. Can we override standard button in LWC? We can't override the standard button in LWC, but in Aura component we can override the standard button in. Okay, we can override standard buttons such as new, edit, and view using Aura component. As of writing we currently cannot use Lightning Web Component to override the standard buttons. What is @Aura enabled in Apex? The @Aura enable annotation enables client-side and server-side access to an Apex controller method. Providing this annotation makes your methods available to your Lightning components, both Lightning Web Components and Aura components. Only methods with this annotation are exposed. What is @REST controller used? REST controller is used for making RESTful web services with the help of the @REST controller annotation. This annotation is used at the class level and allows the class to handle the request made by the client. It is mandatory to write cacheable is equal to true for Aura enable method to bind with @wire decorator. Yes, @wire we need to cache enabled. Can we write cacheable is equal to true on the server side method using imperative way in LWC? Can we make the wire method to refresh forcefully to bring fresh data from the server? Yes, by using refresh Apex method. What are custom events in LWC? Custom event is used to make the communication from the child component to the parent component. Child to parent to child event communication in LWC, custom event communication in Lightning Web Component, child to parent, publish subscriber model is in Lightning Web Components. What is event propagation? Event propagation typically involves two phases: event bubbling and event capturing. How can include LWC component in application? In order to use Lightning Web Component in application, we need to specify tags in meta.xml file. Lightning app page to add the component in the app page, Lightning record page and Lightning home page. Lightning record page to add components in the record page, and to add component in the home page is Lightning home page. Can we add spinner in Lightning Web Component? Yes, you need to add Lightning spinner using Lightning design system. Can we add toast message in LWC? In order to add toast message, firstly we need to import show toast event, then import show toast event from Lightning / platform show toast event. Create instance of show toast event with desired parameters like const toast event is equal to new show toast event, title show to success, message, contact list updated, variant and mode. How to include LWC component inside Visualforce page? We can add LWC component in Aura component. Then we need to add Aura component in Visualforce page using Lightning out. What is validity attribute in LWC? Validity attribute is the set custom validity. You can set it like this. How can we iterate list in LWC? By using for each and iterator, we can iterate the list in LWC. So this is all about Salesforce LWC interview LWC questions. Thank you guys so much.